Story number 1. It started on a night that was too quiet, too heavy. The kind of silence that presses against your eardrums and makes your own heartbeat sound loud enough to wake the dead. I didn't notice anything wrong at first. The house was still. The only sound was the soft hum of the fridge in the kitchen, and the occasional rustle of the trees outside my bedroom window. But then I heard it. Not a knock, not a footstep, not the usual creak of the old floorboards that echoed at night. This was something else. Something deliberate. Something human. Breathing, slow, steady, right outside my window. My window faces the backyard. No street, no neighbors. Just a fence and a narrow strip of grass that leads into a line of thick, dark trees. No reason for anyone to be there at all. And yet I could hear it. At first I told myself it was the wind. I even laughed quietly, a nervous chuckle that sounded hollow in the darkness. It's the wind, I whispered to myself. It's nothing, you're imagining it. But the breathing came again, closer this time, louder, slow, controlled, not random. Human. My skin prickled. My body froze, as if it knew something my brain refused to admit. Someone or something was out there and it wasn't leaving. I didn't move. I didn't blink. I just listened. Inhale, exhale, exhale. It was methodical, purposeful, right against the glass, just out of sight. I told myself, don't look, because if I looked and someone was really there, it would make it all real, too real. Then I heard the faintest scrape, not a tap, not a knock, a dragging sound, very slow, from left to right, fingernails or something else. My heart started pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. I reached for my phone, intending to call someone, anyone. No signal, no notifications, no alerts, just the black screen reflecting my wide, terrified eyes and the faint outline of the window behind me. I turned my phone into a mirror, the dim light of the screen barely illuminating the glass. Nothing, just my reflection. I forced myself to look outside, slowly, carefully. The yard was empty. The fence swayed slightly, but it always did in the wind. I told myself again, it's nothing. But the pit in my stomach wouldn't let me believe it, and then it happened. The window fogged, right in front of my face, a small circle, like someone had exhaled against the glass. I froze. Slowly, the fog faded, but the terror didn't. I stumbled back, knocking over a chair. My hands were shaking as I gripped my phone. I ran to the bedroom door and locked it. Silly, I know, but fear doesn't care about logic. I called my brother, no answer. I thought about calling the police, but what could I say? Hi, there's breathing outside my window, but no one is there. I'd sound insane, so I did what anyone would do in my position. I stayed awake, watching, waiting, heart racing, every sound amplified, every shadow suspicious. Nothing happened the rest of that night. No more breathing, no scraping, no fog. Morning came, too bright, too normal, and yet the fear lingered. I went outside. The grass under my window was flattened, not randomly, deliberately, like someone had stood there for a long time. I told myself it was an animal, but animals don't stand still and breathe against glass. Not like that. That night, I closed every curtain, locked every window, double-checked every door. Then I tried to sleep. I didn't, not really. Every creak, every shift of the house sounded like footsteps. Every shadow looked like a person standing just outside my peripheral vision. Then it happened again. 2:17 a.m. I woke up, heart racing. Silence first, then a tap. Soft, deliberate, one tap against the window, then another. 3 taps this time, evenly spaced, testing me, making sure I was awake. My body refused to move, my mind screamed at me to run. Slowly I reached for my phone, checking the time. 2:17 exactly. The tapping stopped, silence, then a whisper, not loud, not intelligible, just air moving against the glass, a sound that felt like it was meant for me alone. I knew then it wasn't random. It was directed, purposeful. At me I swallowed hard, my hands were shaking. I whispered, who's there? Nothing, just the heavy night air. A single knock, harder than before, right at eye level. I screamed and stumbled back. The motion light outside flickered on. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, nothing moved in the yard. No shadow, no figure. Just the empty grass, glowing under yellow light. I slowly peered through the curtain. The yard was empty, completely, but the fence gate always locked was wide open, swinging slightly, like someone had just pushed it. My stomach twisted. I didn't go outside. I couldn't. Instead, I backed up. That's when I saw it. In the reflection of the window, behind me, a tall, dark shape, standing in the corner near my closet, not moving, just watching. I spun around, nothing. I looked back at the window. Reflection normal. Empty corner. Sleep deprivation, paranoia, fear playing tricks on my eyesight. Told myself that, but deep down I knew. Whatever had been outside my window wasn't there anymore. It was inside. The next days were a blur of anxiety and terror. Every small sound, footsteps, wind, a creak made me flinch. My friends told me it was paranoia, stress, maybe even hallucination. I didn't care. I didn't need proof for them. I needed to survive the night. Then, a week later it came back. Not at 2:17 this time. 2:03 a.m. Subtle changes in time. Small variations, as if it was taunting me. I stayed awake. I counted every second, every minute. The air felt heavier, breathing from the yard. No, inside the room. Possibly I didn't move. My phone battery was dead. I couldn't record it, couldn't call for help, nothing to prove I wasn't insane. The tapping started again. First one tap, then another. 3 taps, then the whispering. That subtle movement of air near my ear, impossible to locate, yet undeniable. My bedroom door rattled slightly, not fully moving, but enough to make me think it could be pushed open. I gripped the bat beside my bed. My legs refused to hold me steady. Every second stretched into eternity. Then Lance, I dared to breathe. The moment I did, the window fogged again, right in front of my face. A perfect circle. I almost passed out from fear. I reached for the curtain. Slowly, my hands shaking violently. 1, 2, 3 and I pulled it open. The yard was empty, the gate swaying, the grass pressed down. Nothing. But then I noticed something else. The streaks, 3 long vertical marks on the inside of the glass. Fingerprints, clearly human, clearly deliberate. Fresh. I live alone. No one else has keys. No one else enters my house. I checked every room, closets, bathroom, under the bed. Nothing. No one. All doors locked from the inside. Yet the streaks remained. I didn't sleep for 2 nights. Sat awake with the baseball bat, phone in hand, waiting, watching, heart pounding, clock ticking. Then the lights flickered once, twice. Motion light outside turned on automatically, but no sound, no figure, nothing. I slowly approached the window again. Curtain closed, light still on. I counted to 3, pulled the curtain. Yard empty. Reflection normal, nothing behind me, but I felt it. Watching close in the air around me. Something had crossed the threshold of the house. Something unseen, something patient. I whispered a prayer, sat back, tried to calm myself, but the fear never left, not for 1 second. Every night since, I double-checked locks, curtains, windows. Every tap, every breath, every whisper sends chills down my spine. I know it's out there, watching, waiting, patient, silent, always right outside the window or maybe just behind it. And I know this, it won't stop. If your heart is racing right now, good. That's exactly how it felt. Make sure you subscribe to Last Evidence, because what happens next shouldn't be possible. Story number 2. It started on a cold night in November, the kind that makes your bones ache and your breath fog in the air. I was alone in my apartment, or at least I thought I was. The city outside was quiet, unusually so, like the entire neighborhood had gone to sleep early, leaving only me in my small, dimly lit apartment. I was scrolling through my phone, trying to distract myself from the growing tension in my chest. Every shadow in my room felt heavier than the last. Every floorboard creak sounded deliberate. Then I heard it, a knock, soft, almost hesitant. Not at the door, but at my bedroom window. I froze. My window faced the street, but it was late, and no one should be outside. Not at this hour, I rationalized. Maybe a neighbor checking their car. Maybe a branch, but my gut told me otherwise. I didn't move, I didn't breathe. I just listened. Then I heard it again. A slow, deliberate knock. 2 knocks. This time tap, tap, paused, tap. I gripped the edge of my desk. My eyes were wide, staring at the curtain, trying to see through the faint moonlight outside. There was nothing. Then I felt it. A presence, something wrong. Not in the yard, not outside, inside the apartment somewhere near me. I didn't dare turn. I couldn't, but I could feel it, watching, patient, waiting. My phone buzzed. A text. I didn't recognize the number. Just a single message. I can see you. I dropped the phone. My heart stopped. I thought I was hallucinating. Maybe exhaustion, maybe paranoia, maybe I was losing my mind. But then I heard breathing slow right behind me. I whipped around. Nothing. The room was empty. I backed up, closer to the door. Then my eyes caught movement through the corner of my window. A shadow, human-shaped, standing just beyond the glass. Still, watching, not moving, not blinking, just staring. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. My entire body had frozen. My mind screamed at me to run, but my legs refused. I slowly reached for my phone again. Another message appeared. I'm closer than you think. The window fogged. A circle formed, exactly where I had seen the shadow. Someone was exhaling against the glass. I was shaking so badly I could barely stand. I backed away toward the door. My phone slipped from my hand, crashing onto the floor. I crawled toward it, grabbed it, and turned on the flashlight. The beam of light landed on the window. The yard was empty, but the glass was smeared. Fingerprints. Tall, elongated, human-shaped, but distorted, like someone had pressed their hands flat against it. Pressing slowly, deliberately. I couldn't breathe. I stared at the marks, fresh, wet, smudged, and they were moving, slowly downward like fingers sliding. My blood ran cold. Then the motion light outside flickered on. My bedroom curtains rustled, even though no wind touched them. I heard footsteps, soft, deliberate, coming from the hall. I grabbed the bat, my heart pounding so loud I thought it might burst. I moved toward the hole slowly, step by step. Every movement made a creak. I froze. Another step, creak, another creak, and then silence. I didn't dare move for what felt like hours. My mind racing, imagining the worst. What if someone was inside? What if they had been watching me all this time? Then, I heard it. A whisper. My name, soft, breathless, just enough to make my skin crawl. I turned on every light in the apartment. Nothing. The whisper stopped. Silence. I called the police. They came, checked the apartment. Nothing. No signs of forced entry. No one hiding. Everything locked, but the marks on the window remained. Fingerprints pressed inside the glass. Wet, distorted, human-shaped. I was given advice. Sleep with the lights on. Get security cameras. Move. But none of it felt safe. Not really, because I knew whoever or whatever was outside knew exactly how to get in. That night, I tried to sleep again. Curtains closed, windows locked, lights on, my phone charging beside me. I closed my eyes. I thought maybe, just maybe, it was over. Then I heard it breathing, slow. Directly outside the window, the bedroom window. My window. I froze. The hair on my arms stood on end. My mind raced. I couldn't look, but curiosity and fear forced me. I slowly opened my eyes. Nothing. Then the window fogged. A small circle exhaled right against the glass. I couldn't take it. I ran toward the door, flung it open, and screamed into the hallway. Empty. I returned to the bedroom shivering, trying to make sense of it. Then I noticed something. My reflection. In the window, not just me, someone or something standing behind me. A figure, tall, dark, shadowed, watching. I spun around. Nothing, just my empty room. I didn't sleep for 3 days. Sat awake with the lights on, every sound amplified, every shadow a threat. The tension became unbearable. Then came the next night, 2:03 a.m. Not 2:17 this time. The tapping started. 1, 2, 3, pause. Tap, tap, and the whispering again. My name, clear, intentional. I grabbed a bat. My phone dead. Windows locked, curtains closed, heart racing. I couldn't leave. I couldn't call for help. And then the tapping stopped. Silence. Absolute silence. I slowly turned out of the corner of my eye. I saw movement. Behind me, the window reflection. The tall figure again, watching. Not moving, not blinking, just waiting. I dared not move. My body refused. My mind screamed. Then the window fogged again. The circle formed, and inside the circle, eyes to glowing dots, looking straight at me. I screamed, and then everything went quiet. The next morning, marks on the window, fingers pressed inside, wet, moving slowly down the glass. I don't know how long it's been watching. I don't know what it wants. All I know is, it's patient, calculated, and it isn't leaving. The final story will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about reality. Make sure to subscribe to Last Evidence, because the last part will haunt you long after it ends. Story number 3. It started like any other night, deceptively normal. The street lights flickered softly outside my window. The hum of the city was faint, almost soothing, until I noticed the silence that followed it. The silence that isn't natural, that doesn't belong to a peaceful night. Something about it made my skin crawl. I had been awake, of course. After what happened in part 1 and part 2, sleep had become a foreign concept. Every night, every hour, I felt watched. My apartment, supposedly safe, had become a cage, a trap, and now I was waiting for the inevitable. It began with the sound of breathing. Not outside this time, not near the window. Inside, I froze mid-step. My own apartment. The lights on, windows locked, doors double-checked. Yet the sound was clear, slow, deliberate. Right in the hallway outside my bedroom. I didn't want to look. I wanted to ignore it. But curiosity, dread, and the need to understand what had been haunting me pushed me forward. I grabbed the baseball bat, my hand shaking violently, my legs like jelly. One step into the hallway, nothing. The beam from my phone flashlight swept over the walls. The apartment appeared empty. Every shadow mocked me, teasing me, whispering threats that weren't there. Then I heard it, a knock, soft, not at a window, not at a door, right behind me. Tap, tap, 3. Slow taps on the wall adjacent to my bed. I spun around, nothing. Then the whispering began. Clear this time, not faint, not subtle. My name repeated, echoing through the walls. I backed into the corner of my room, heart pounding, every instinct screaming to run, but where? The apartment, once familiar, now felt alien, dangerous. Every corner, every shadow could hide something waiting. Then I saw movement. In the reflection of my bedroom mirror, the figure, tall, dark, human-shaped, watching, not moving. Yet I knew it was aware of every breath I took. I turned quickly, nothing, just my room, empty. But then I noticed the marks, on the floor, footprints, barefoot, wet, leading from the hallway into my bedroom. I didn't understand. Every door locked from the inside, every window secured. No one should be here. Yet these footprints were proof. Someone had been inside. Panic surged. I grabbed my phone to call 911. No signal, battery dead. My hands trembling. I realized I wasn't alone. The presence in the room had made my phone useless. The breathing grew louder, closer, right behind me. I spun. Nothing. I backed toward the door, ready to flee. Then I saw it. The closet. The door slowly creaked open. Nothing visible, just darkness inside. But the air moved differently, cold, stagnant, like someone was inside, just out of sight, waiting. I raised the bat. Step by step I approached, step by step, each footfall echoing in my ears. My heart felt like it would explode. Then a whisper from inside the closet. Finally, I froze. My body refused to move. My mind screamed. But curiosity forced me to look. I swung the flashlight into the closet. Empty, just clothes hanging, shadows moving with the light. Then I noticed the reflection in the metal of the hangers. The figure standing behind me again, closer than before. Watching, I spun around. Nothing. A knock came from the bedroom wall. Slow, deliberate, then the whispering again. Not my name this time. Words I couldn't understand, but the tone, malicious, joyful, mocking. I backed into the corner. Too late. The room seemed to change around me. Shadows grew longer. Objects subtly moved. My desk chair was no longer flush against the wall. The air thickened, heavy, unnatural. Then I saw it move, out of the corner of my eye. Dark silhouette gliding across the room. Not walking, floating, but grounded enough that the creaking floor gave it away. I raised the bat. I screamed nothing, and then I realized. The door, my bedroom door, locked from the inside, slowly swinging open, not pushed, not kicked, slowly, deliberately, opened by something inside. I wanted to run, but I couldn't. My legs locked, my mind screaming. The silhouette appeared in the doorway, human-shaped but taller. The eyes, I swear the eyes glowed, not red, not normal, yellow, malicious, hungry, watching me, measuring me. Then it whispered again, "You can't hide." I ran, bat in hand. I ran into the kitchen. My apartment, once familiar, now a maze of terror. Every corner held shadows, every corner held the impossible. Then I heard it, footsteps behind me, slow, soft, deliberate, matching mine, copying me, mocking me. I tried to open the front door, locked, no keys. I always lock it. It wasn't locked before. Someone had locked it, trapping me inside. I backed away. The silhouette appeared again. In every reflection, windows, mirrors, my phone screen. It was everywhere. Then I realized something impossible. The shape, it was not solid. Yet it left marks, footprints, fingerprints, smudges, wet, fresh, every trace proving its existence. I tried to scream, no sound, my voice gone, my throat dry, panic overwhelming me. It whispered again, "Stop struggling, you're mine." I backed toward the bedroom. The walls seemed to stretch, the ceiling lower. My apartment became unfamiliar, alien, hostile, every turn, a trap, every corner a threat. Then I saw movement in the reflection of the window, not outside, inside, behind me. The silhouette was closer, watching, measuring, waiting. I swung the bat, hit nothing. The air solidified, my arms shook. I ran into the bedroom, slamming the door behind me, locked it, checked, double-checked, triple-checked. Then the whispering came. Through the walls, through the door, through the air. My name, mocking, taunting, laughing. I backed into the corner, heart pounding, vision blurred, breath ragged, every muscle screaming, and then silence. Absolute total silence. Too quiet. I dared not move. My mind screamed. My body refused. Then I noticed the window, slowly, the curtains, slightly open. The night air had changed, heavy, malicious. I approached, slowly, deliberately, 1 step, 2 steps, and then I saw it. The silhouette, standing outside the window, watching, waiting, grinning, not human, but human-shaped, malevolent, impossible. Then the motion light flickered. Everything vanished. Empty yard, empty room. But I knew, I felt it, waiting, patient, calculated. And that's when I realized the impossible truth. It had been inside my apartment all along, observing, waiting, testing me, learning, knowing my routines, my fears, my every move. I don't know how long it stayed. I don't know when it left. All I know, it's still out there, waiting, watching, and it knows you're reading this. For more real terror like this, and to see evidence of the impossible, subscribe to Last Evidence.